Have you ever wondered how a plane that could fly faster than the speed of sound just disappeared from our skies? The Concorde, once hailed as the pinnacle of aviation technology, a marvel that could fly from New York to London in under 3.5 hours, was not just a plane. It was a symbol of speed, luxury, and the future of air travel. So, what exactly led to its sudden downfall? To understand this, we have to go back to the beginning, when dreams of supersonic travel first took flight. In the 1950s and 60s, aviation was evolving rapidly. The jet age had begun, and with it, the desire to go faster, higher, and farther. Engineers and governments were eager to prove their technological prowess, and so, two countries, Britain and France, joined forces in a rare collaboration to create the world's first supersonic passenger airliner, the Concorde. It wasn't just about speed. The Concorde was a masterpiece. Sleek, slender, with a distinctive drooping nose that helped pilots see the runway during takeoff and landing. It could cruise at Mach 2.04, more than twice the speed of sound. That's around 2,180 kilometers per hour. At that speed, it could cross the Atlantic in nearly half the time of a regular aircraft. But this level of performance came at a cost. Development of the Concorde began in the early 1960s, and by the time it first took off in 1969, it had already racked up billions in development costs, funded largely by the British and French governments. Still, the excitement was palpable. The plane made its commercial debut in 1976, operated by British Airways and Air France. From the start, the Concorde was meant to be an elite experience. Lavish interiors, gourmet meals, champagne flowing at 60,000 feet. Tickets cost more than double that of a regular first-class flight. It catered to celebrities, world leaders, and the ultra-wealthy. Phil Collins famously used the Concorde to perform in both London and Philadelphia on the same day during Live Aid in 1985. But behind the glamour, the Concorde was facing headwinds. Only 20 Concordes were ever built, and only 14 of those were used in commercial service. Why? Because no one else wanted them. Initially, many airlines placed orders. But as the reality of the plane's limitations became clear, high operating costs, limited passenger capacity, and rising fuel prices, those orders were quietly canceled. Then, there was the noise. The sonic boom caused by breaking the sound barrier made it impossible for Concorde to fly supersonic over land. This meant its routes were limited, mostly between New York and Europe, flying over the Atlantic. Airports around the world were reluctant to allow Concorde to operate due to noise pollution concerns. Despite these hurdles, Concorde operated successfully for over 2 decades. Its safety record was impeccable, until July 25, 2000. Air France Flight 4590 was preparing to take off from Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. Unknown to the pilots, a piece of metal from another aircraft had fallen onto the runway. As Concorde began its takeoff, one of its tires hit the metal, bursting and sending debris into the fuel tank. A fire broke out. The plane never gained enough altitude and crashed into a hotel, killing all 109 people on board and 4 more on the ground. It was a tragedy, and it changed everything. The Concorde was grounded immediately. Investigations followed, modifications were made, the planes were eventually allowed to fly again, but the damage was done. Public confidence had been shaken. And by then, the world had changed. After 9/11, air travel declined globally. Fuel prices soared, security concerns rose, and airlines, already struggling with costs, found it harder to justify maintaining such a niche, expensive fleet. In 2003, both British Airways and Air France announced they would retire the Concorde. Its final commercial flight was on October 24th of that year. The era of supersonic passenger travel came to an end. But was it really just about the crash, or were there deeper issues? The Concorde was always a plane ahead of its time, technologically brilliant, but economically flawed. It burned through fuel at an astonishing rate, about 5,600 gallons per hour. It carried just around 100 passengers. Its maintenance was costly and complex, and despite its luxury image, it was loud, cramped, and lacked many modern comforts. In many ways, the Concorde was a victim of timing. Developed during a post-war era of optimism and competition, but retired in a world driven by efficiency and cost. Today, the Concorde stands as a symbol of human ambition, of what's possible when innovation takes flight, but also a reminder that not all progress is sustainable. That speed, though thrilling, comes with a price. Still, the dream hasn't died. Several companies are now working on next-generation supersonic jets. Quieter, greener, more efficient, promising to bring back the magic of supersonic travel, without the baggage of the past. Will we ever see a new Concorde? Maybe. But for now, the original remains unmatched. A beautiful, ambitious, tragic chapter in the story of flight. The Concorde may be gone, but its legacy still echoes through the skies, so next time you look up and see a plane cruising by, remember, once we flew faster than sound. And one day, we might again.